This is your boy, the Green Times, coming at you with a video that's quite disappointing in a sense of speaking. I'm not exactly sure what I witnessed in the football game. Most of this half of what I've seen. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter. As usual, the Eagles waited a little bit too late to start running the football. I think they ran the ball about 7 or 8 times in this game. Miles Sanders, you know what I'm saying? They still wait too late to run the football, and that's a problem. I mean, you pass more than you ran the football. That's a very low statistic when it comes to rushing and passing. The Eagles lost the football game by 6 points, 28-22. They had many opportunities to win the football game, but I'm gonna talk about one bonehead play in a few minutes in the video. But I just want to go ahead into specifics of the reason why they had many opportunity to win the football game. First of all, the running game was a major key. As you saw what happened when you feed the ball to Miles Sanders. You saw what happened. The man was getting 10 yards, 15 yards, 20 yards down the field for first downs. They refused to run the football in the first and second quarter of this game. Had they run the football in those quarters of the game, it probably would have been a different story as we speak. Again, they failed to run the football. I mean, Hurts threw for under 150. I mean, he threw for under 200 yards for the second week in a row. One touchdown pass, one interception, and he also ran one in the end zone for the second consecutive week. Now, the defense, on the other hand, I'm gonna get into that also a little bit later, but I don't understand what my I don't understand. I don't understand what Nick is doing or what he's trying to do. You got one of the best running backs in the NFL in Mike Sanders, and you refuse to run him in the first, second, and third quarter. You wait until the fourth quarter to run this man. And this is what the Eagle fans are getting tired of. I've been looking on Facebook recently. They all talk about fire Nick Sirianni. Talk about fire Nick, fire Richard. Fire Gannon. I mean, I'm constantly seeing this on a regular basis on Facebook or on social media for all that matter. And I'm not saying they're right, and I'm not saying they're wrong, because I'm not even going to get into that feud. But the man is throwing the ball more than they run the football, and I don't get this. I really don't get this at all, and I'm tired of seeing the same plays week in, week out. They still throwing the intermediate screen plays that begin to be predictable. I mean, how can you do screenplays when you don't run the football enough to do a screenplay? I mean, it's a lot of ass backwards play calling. That's what I'm seeing. A bunch of ass backwards play calling. After you win the game against the Carolina Panthers at Carolina, then you once again lose at home. And the Eagles right now are 2-4 at home. 2-4. The two games that they played were road games. They won 2 road games. These 4 games that the Eagles have lost, the Eagles have lost 2 home games and 2 road games. So if you look at together, they are well, what is it? They 2-4. I can't even think about how to break it down. Maybe later on when I do another video going to next week, because the Eagles are off this Sunday, so they'll get some bit of a break before they play again next Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So I mean Sunday after this one coming up. If the thing is they refuse to run the football, they are constantly airing the football. Why air it when you got one of the best running backs in the NFL to take the pressure off the offensive line, to take the pressure off Hurts? I mean, all these bonehead plays, these stupid bonehead plays that are being called, and I'm tired of seeing the same play week in, week out. Now, let's get to the bonehead play that I'm talking about. In the last minute of the fourth quarter, Gerald Avery, I'm not sure if I need to call him the new Derek Barnett, because what he did on the sideline after making a tackle on Leonard Fournette, I mean, the guy is already out of bounds. Why taunt him? The Eagles got a 15-yard taunt penalty, and that's how the Tampa Bay Bucks won the football game. Because now, if you stop Leonard Fournette on second down, third down would have been easier. But when you get a 15-yard penalty call, you're giving the team a new set of downs and a new set of life to win the football game, which is what they did, because they got close to first and goal, and they kneeled down 3 times in the football game. So that's the bonehead play that I don't like. Nick, for the first time in this game, Derek Barnett didn't get no penalties called against him, but he damn near did, because he kept pushing Tom Brady. Tom Brady completed the pass, he kept pushing him, you know what I'm saying? And that could have been a penalty. But luckily, that wasn't called on him, but Gerald Avery did a bonehead play that cost. I'm not going to say it cost us the game, but it was part of costing us this football game. And so, defense did the best they could. There was nothing they can do against Tom Brady. Tom Brady don't seen every defensive scheme in the NFL pretty much. But now, as far as adjustments being made, they made some late adjustments in what they did. And if you make early adjustments, you would have scored when you defer the ball to Tampa Bay, and you get the ball back in the second half. Now, had some adjustments made along up in there, they probably would have scored a football game. I mean, probably would have scored on that point of possession, but they didn't. And then a missed field goal kick, which could have been 3 points, also was the doomer. You know what I'm saying? But in a few minutes, I'm gonna get to the positives. But I want to go and get all the negative out the way first before I get to the positives. Defense once again couldn't stop the back. Like I said, second in the video, Tom Brady seen every defense that possibly is. The man is 44 years old. You know what I'm saying? He's seen every defense thrown his way, but Gannon failed to knock the guys in place, because it's like they couldn't get no pressure. They got a few pressures on Tom Brady, but not enough to stop certain drives that they score touchdowns on. So, I mean, the man was on fire from the jump street, and he came out on fire, and came out in the first quarter. On their first possession, they scored a touchdown, the game. So, I mean, knowing what team to throw the ball, they want to see how you're going to play him. And so the Eagles knew how Tom Brady was going to play, because Tom Brady had done this before. And so with him being now instead he's 5-3, now he's 5-4 against the NFC East. He's 5-4 now, with a nice win. And to put it in perspective, we're 2-4. We are 4 games out of 500 place. We currently sit third place in the NFC, with the Giants bottom last. The Eagles are now officially stuck in third place with 2-4. And so our next game is against the Oakland Raiders, but that's 2 Sundays away. And so with this Sunday coming up, after this week comes to an end, and then next Sunday when they play. So that could be our next game. Is the Las Vegas Raiders at Las Vegas. And could we win that football game? Maybe. We'll see how that works. You know what I'm saying? And so, but now the positives in this football game. The positives is the Eagles scored on their on a position on a play that was penalized by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so when they finally got downfield and ran the football 3 or 4 different times with Mike Sanders, they should have let Mike Sanders run that football, because the man does not have a touchdown this season. They should have gave that man out. They should have lined him out wide out somewhere, and let that man get in the end zone for a score. The man had no touchdown He had no touchdowns this season, so that kind of makes you wonder what next for Miles Sanders. Because see, the question is for Miles Sanders, do he really want to become? Do he really want to stay a Philadelphia Eagles next season? Do he really want to be a part of this team next year? That's gonna be a question mark for Miles Sanders when the season comes to an end. But overall, this was not a sucky performance. It was sucky in the first half and the third half, but the fourth quarter when the Eagles finally came alive, but they came alive a little bit too late as usual. You know what I'm saying? They played a Panthers game, a team that should have outright beat us. But the Eagles were able to get momentum and get rolling in that game and won. But they couldn't get rolling in this game because they played the Super Bowl champions, a team that are now currently standing at 5-1, and we are 2-4. Six games been played this season, and we got a long way to go before our bye week. Our bye week is in December. You know what I'm saying? And that's a shame because too many players, it's ridiculous. And I don't know if the Eagles are going to want to play another Thursday night game. I don't think so. I think it's one Thursday night per team. You know what I'm saying? So luckily our Thursday night games are over with. Now it's just Sunday or Mondays. But I mean the Hurts threw for under 200 yards again today. One touchdown, one pick, and that pick was an unnecessary throw. Now, had he kept the ball and ran it himself, the pick could have been nullified. But instead, he threw one, and that was luckily the defense stood strong, and Tom Brady didn't score with the interception. Luckily, you know what I'm saying? That's a lucky break right there. But overall, this was not. The Eagles played better. They played better in the fourth quarter. I'm gonna give them that. They played better in the fourth quarter. First, second, and third quarter, we sucked. But in the fourth quarter, we did a little bit better. So overall, the grade, I'm gonna give them a D minus because see, a D minus means had they run the football, it would have been a different score, and then the defense could got some rest on the run plays. Have they sustained longer drives? The last drive before the last drive they scored a touchdown for 12 plays, which might have been the longest. Might have been the longest drive they had this year. Their other drives have been under 10 plays, but this one was like 12, 13 plays to get into the end zone for a touchdown. Now had they kept running the football like everybody had been telling them to, we could have won the football game outright. But Tampa Bay didn't play too good at all. They didn't play too good. The Eagles had many opportunities to win the football game, but the opportunities came up on penalties, and I'm talking about penalties in a few minutes also. Penalties, that bonehead play that Gerald Avery did, which gave Tampa Bay another set of downs, and that football game. The missed field goal kick, which was 3 points, and Hurts throwing footballs all over the place. I mean, the guy was on the run most of that game because the guy Shaq Barrett and then guy Veal kept coming into his face. I mean, I don't understand why the offensive line couldn't hold up against those two players. I mean, that's a defensive end and a defensive tackle, and they both come up the A and B gaps on Jalen Hurts, and the man didn't have no room to breathe. So that's what you get when you get a patch up offensive line. You know what I'm saying? And my opinion about Lane Johnson, I think Lane Johnson is depressed. I think he's depressed. I think that's what it is. I think he's suffering some kind of depression. That's just my opinion. And the reason why I say that is because the last Eagles player to suffer depression, if you guys remember, Sean Andrews, a former first round pick of the Eagles back in 2003, who played full year for the Eagles, and the third year And when he got depressed, and then when he got depressed, the Eagles shipped him off to the New York Giants. I mean, I'm sorry, the Eagles released him, and the Giants picked him up. I think he played 2 years with the New York Giants, and so he was the last person that was depressed and and was gone for the rest of the year. And the way they're talking now, they're saying Lane Johnson might not come back none this year. And I think they saying it's personal matter. I think it's depression. I think it's personal matter. It's depression. I think he's depressed. I think that's what it is. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with him, but that's how I see his situation. I think he's depressed. And so maybe he'll work his way through it. No one knows, but everybody. I mean, I got my opinion about that, but this is what I'm telling y'all. So, but anyway, this not a happy video. And the last week video wasn't happy either, because they could play better in last week, but played better, but played just a little bit better in this game here. But they played better only in the fourth quarter. You can't play good in the fourth quarter and be sloppy in the third, second, and first quarter, cause it's gonna plague you. And then once it plagues you, it'll cost the game. And that's what happened in this game. It wasn't just the penalties and the bonehead calls. It was the slow starts. And we keep and the Eagles had slow starts last season, and look like it's starting in this season, because they picked up the pace in the Atlanta game, but slowed down in the last 4 or 5 games. And and it hurts me to say this, but this game, this team, I'm not gonna say they're rebuilding. I think they are restacking in a sense, because this don't make no sense for what's happening to the football team. Lane Johnson might not come back. I don't think he's gonna come back. So that's why he's on the they call it, what do they call it? It's not an injury list, but it's more like it's called a personal matter. Personal matter is what they call it. And so, but I think he's suffering from depression. That's just how I feel about it. And I think there were a lot of other fan bases are probably saying the same thing, or might got something different to say. But overall, this was a bad performance, and that's why I give it a D minus, because for the fact that all the bonehead plays, the slow starts, the interceptions, the erratic balls thrown all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Because he been intercepted once in this game, and he came close to being intercepted on the screenplay, and I mean, Smith was open. Smith was open. But the fool threw the ball toward the left side of him, and expect Quest Watkins to catch that ball, not knowing that a linebacker almost picked the ball off and sprinted it for a touchdown. Now had that happened, that'd have been definitely over with. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, a lot of bonehead plays, really is, and that will cost us the football game. Tom Brady threw for almost over 200 yards once again. They running game was fire. You know what I'm saying? Leonard Fournette run the ball. They had that other boy, Rodney, whatever his name is, he run the football. So wide receivers catching balls all over the place. I mean, Tom Brady was on par with his play calling. I mean, with his plays and the run game. Their run game was off the charts. The Eagles' run game was not off the charts. It was bad, because they picked the wrong time to run the football. They did it for the second. They did it for the second of 3 times in a row that they have done that. 3 games in a row that they have done that, and that needs to stop. Play call needs to get better. This is a young team. They're young. You know what I'm saying? They're a young team, and that's also a young coaching staff. But you would think by now that you would know to run the football after losing games like this. So it could be a question mark in this offseason as to what's going to happen with players and coaches, because this is ridiculous. This is a game we could have had, in just my opinion. Another game we let wash away in the tides. We could have won the football game outright, at least by 2 points. It could have been what, 31-28 could be 31-28, but penalties once again, starters, bad play calling. They allowed They allow them the opposing defense to come up the A and B gaps on Hurts. Hurts only got sacked once in this game, thank you Jesus. But overall, this is just strange. This is 2-4. Wow, 2-4. That's gonna be a hard pill to swallow. But anyway, this is your boy the Green Talents coming to you with a very depressing video. As always, comment, like, subscribe, and share. I'm going to end this video the way I always end it. Sign off. This is your boy. Holla back.